Hey, what it is. We're back at it again. So, let's account for wellness. How was wellness today? It started off fine until it wasn't fine. There was a certain point where I found myself struggling. And yeah, I had to step back, breathe, because I was like, hey, just because I'm struggling with work doesn't mean I should struggle internally. But usually, under such circumstances, it's not just one thing. I mean, one thing kind of triggers it, and then multiple things just add up on top of that. So, yeah, I just took a step back and I was breathing for a while. And then from there, just figured out that, you know what, it's time to, per se, readjust the way I'm working to actually suit me. Because a couple of days ago, I wasn't doing that technique, the Pomodoro technique, you know, and I was doing well, but then I was like, I need to get back to the Pomodoro technique because under such instances or when I feel like I'm spiraling, it's best to have a sense of structure, so that I can move in between these boundaries and actually make progress, even though it isn't easy. It's kind of like wearing a belt when you're squatting. So I pretty much did that, and it really did help. Switched up my positioning, and yeah, just focused. Yeah, just really focused. Yeah, so with that being said, that was that. I figured that at this point in time, right, since we talked about, well, we introduced the fourth way into this equation yesterday, I'd like to touch on it. And a key part of it, which is paying attention to my physical movements. Because, per se, down to the breathing, down to the posture, down to the sigh, down to the stance, my sense of progress can be affected by that. I mean, definitely, I need to pay attention to everything that's happening, and probably put boundaries around that. Boundaries that make sense. And by boundaries, I mean systems that'll kind of like squeeze everything in just to make sure that I can get to this ideal that I have of being objective. Yeah, because I think mentally and psychologically, I know what it is that I need to do, or I have a better understanding in order to get to the next level. But it's just been a whole constant process of adapting to these waters because it's easy, you know what I'm saying? Just to let things go by, run it through, and it's good. Be lost in the sauce, hustle, just focus on ads, because I guess right now the hardest thing is learning. So, yeah, that's that. So, yeah, with that being said, I'm definitely going to pay attention a lot more to my actions, physical actions, and make sure that, hey, things do make sense, and probably breathe a lot more because definitely I haven't been breathing ever since. Because I kind of noticed that it's easy to, per se, breathe when you gym, right? Because it calls for it. But just normal day-to-day life, we're barely breathing to the diaphragm. Or let me just say, I'm barely breathing to the diaphragm. So I have to create that sort of situation, of actively breathing and monitoring my thoughts, which I have been, but not quick enough because, emotions travel faster than words. So I need to be a little more on the ball because where I was at was not a good place. Not a good place. And I saw that, hey, these pockets of spaces, can, they tend to reoccur and they can form a pattern, and depending on how frequent they are, they can be a huge problem. A huge problem. So, yeah, I guess I'm just gonna try and make sure that the frequency of these emotions and feelings are not as, yeah, as frequent. I'd rather let it be like once a season than once a week or once every second week, because nah. That's not a healthy path to go down on. But yeah, that's what's up in terms of that. In terms of gym, I didn't go to gym today. I guess that's another reason behind me not feeling well. So, with that being said, I'm gonna make an active effort to actually go to gym on Friday, even if I have to just take it light. You know, at least I know that cool, we're back on track, kind of, kind of. And yeah, hopefully this can help me a lot more in terms of progress of work. Cause yo, yeah, it's one thing when you have to per se nurture the work and make progress in terms of that, but then that kind of gets sidelined when you have to take care of your sense of being. I guess in this whole equation, I just learned the importance of environment and the social aspect of work, learning, and everything. Because, yo, when you're on your solo dolo, if you're not knowledgeable of yourself, you're just vulnerable to the environment or the situation or whatever happens that day. Unlike with work, you go to work, it's work. Go to school, it's school. So I guess I have to be a little more, in fact, not even a little more, a lot more alert or, yeah, and build these systems. So I guess now that we've talked about that, I guess one thing is for sure, two key things need to happen. One is pay attention to my physical actions just to make sure that I maintain my sense of being and frame and boundaries within my movements, which affects like a lot. It will affect a lot. I know very well. Besides for work ethic, it's also going to affect relations, but at least I will feel centered. That's one. Two is establish these systems. You know, gym is one of them. Breathing should be another one. Meditation should be another one. Naps can be there as well. Because, yeah, hey, when I take naps, I took a nap, a little 30-minute nap. Didn't even finish the 30 minutes. Woke up feeling like, whoo, cool, restart. So, yeah, I believe, I'll list these things and make sure that let's see how this goes a week later. How much closer will I be to attaining a sense of objective consciousness? Yeah, and detachment. With that being said, thank you for tuning in. That's what's up.